Hi everyone, this is Nicole Wood, Wildlife Foul Gal. I'm here with Jessica Caton, known as Foul_love, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yes, on Twitter. And so we're live here at AOS SCO. I always want to say COS, like apparently I have some slight dyslexia. But we're here.
That's actually another hashtag that's been.
I know, exactly. That's probably what's been happening. Yeah, there's just another like conference or hashtag, going on out there. And so, anyways, we're live here on MSU, so Michigan State University campus, having a lot of fun with a whole bunch of different ornithology folks out there. And so we hope that you all can join in and have a little chat with us. So Jessica, why don't you just kind of like tell us a little bit about your background and why you're here at this conference? What was so exciting about this conference that you wanted to be here?
Okay, all right. Well, hi everyone. So my background is actually with birds. So I did my master's degree actually at Michigan State, undergrad as well. But I worked with Dr. Jen Owen studying blue-winged teals, specifically captive migratory behavior. I had them housed, and we actually just studied kind of what they did in captivity to be later used for some of her other research. So there's a few grad students here that are using that for their research. So I really liked working with ducks and birds. I then moved kind of on more towards education, environmental education, and more with kind of working with kids and different people. And I found I really liked that. Kind of long story short, there was a few other jobs in between, but right now I currently work at The Ohio State University. I know, the rival school of Michigan State, but it's okay. I'm still
at least
supporting.
It's not the biggest rival.
Exactly.
At least not U of M.
We both have the similar hatreds for U of M. The Ohio State University is wonderful. I work in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, specifically in what's called the Ohio House of Science and Engineering, and I am the WOW, or Wonders of Our World program coordinator. And what that basically means is I'm in charge of our really cool science outreach programs. We work with 3 schools around the Columbus City area, and we get to actually kind of do hands-on science outreach for K through 6th grade. What's really kind of unique and cool about our program is we have undergrads from OSU that are science and engineering scholarship students, and a part of their scholarship money is to do 45 hours of actually service outreach.
That's a really great idea. I like that.
It's fantastic. I always kind of tell for these science and engineering students, if they're interested in grad school or if they're interested in kind of any really field, if you can explain to a kindergartner how, I'm trying to think of example about an insect and butterfly symmetry. It's something so specific, but it can help them later on in their life. So that's something it's a really cool experience for them.
Yeah, we do a BioBuds program up at CMU that our grad students have started. And we go and we teach 3rd graders about science, and it really does help you become a better communicator and help break down what your science is. Because sometimes we get so complicated with things, we forget the basics of science. It's like, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Things like, my nephew is about to go into 5th grade, and like there's things that he knows that I don't remember because it's been so long since I've learned those basics.
Exactly.
And so it's really good to like get you back in touch, and plus you help inspire those kids. Like they see like these, cool college students that are coming in and teaching them about stuff, and they're like, this is so awesome. They like this.
Exactly.
And then they want to be like them, and they see those examples. So it's like a win-win-win all the way around.
Yep, it is. It is great. It's great for all parties. The teachers love us too, because we are really trying to help kind of promote science learning and kind of have our budding scientists in the classroom and showing them that a scientist, we're really being big here about talking about diversity. It is not just an older white male. There's all different shapes and sizes and people that are in science and come from way different backgrounds too. So it's a fantastic experience. During the school year, it's very busy because we are doing programs all throughout the year. We work on 18 different science units, so it focuses on everything, geology to physics to chemistry to insects. So it's all over the place. So it's a really great experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, I like that thing you said about diversity, because it really makes a big difference, I think, in kids' lives and even, adults too, when they can see someone like themselves out there doing it. Like, it's not just, like you said, that old guy in a lab coat, in the lab doing science. It's, very inclusive, and to be able to see that, like, really helps you feel like, oh, I can go do that now because someone else is there. It's not like, do I belong there? Yes, no, you're welcome. Please come science with us.
Yep. And so the WOW program has been going on for 17 years, and we really are focusing on inner city schools that their science test scores are lower. So we're trying to give them these nice hands-on opportunities to learn about science kind of from the source, and get them really interested in science. I'm a huge component of getting kids excited about science because science is very fun and it's exciting. And even the college students, they might be doing the same discipline and they never really thought about it as that fun experience. So they get to be a child for a little bit, escape college life.
Yeah, exactly. For everyone out there watching right now, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to send them in via the chat. We're here live at the AOS SCO 2017 conference. So it's a big ornithology conference that's happening here in East Lansing at the Michigan State University campus. And so we're here talking with Jessica about her outreach work that she does. So you said back in grad school you worked with blue-winged teal. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience and how that was, like, going through and being an ornithology grad student?
Yeah, so it was a master's degree, but might as well have been a PhD with all the work. So we worked with Delta waterfowl to actually have eggs, wild-caught eggs, sent to us from North Dakota, and they were blue-winged teals. I actually raised them, and we had these really nice custom-built condos built for them, where they each had a pool, nice 6-foot thing, and each of the 24 ducks had their own little condo, and I had audio recorders, video surveillance cameras, and motion detectors on them at night. So we were really curious to see if the lights changed and if they were photo advanced, would their behaviors change? Would they exhibit what's called migratory restlessness or Zugenru? It's been studied before in passerines and songbirds with hopping and correlating for distance, but it really hasn't been done in with ducks. So Dr. Owen and myself were really interested in seeing what would happen. We really didn't know what was going to happen, so we did it both for the fall and the spring migration. And it was a lot of data. I had over a terabyte worth of data.
Wow.
I soon found out the trouble of storing that and backing it up in multiple forms. And
I can sympathize that with, like, the videos that I get off of here.
Sure.
It fills up so much space. It's like, oh wow, like, what do I do? I'm almost about ready to, like, buy myself my own server and, like, keep it at home and just store everything on.
It's something with behavior research that is still, not known of. What do you do with all this stuff? Because you have to have it backed up in multiple areas.
So could you imagine if you lost that data after all that work?
Exactly, and I did have a little bit of data lost, but thankfully it wasn't crucial stuff. But and so we did find in the spring that not only so those that are familiar with migratory restlessness, the birds kind of get fatter when they're about to migrate because it's a very taxing thing. So we found that our ducks actually increased in weight, and they seemed to be eating more, and we actually experienced what looked like was restless behavior. They were flying up into the cage more, flying around everywhere. So it was actually significantly statistic. We're still in the process of publishing it, just because there's just a lot of stuff.
I mean, that's a good point to make. Like, it's, I think a lot of people out there don't necessarily know the processes. Like, they see that you're working on a project and they don't understand, why is it taking years for you to actually get to the point of where you're publishing?
Exactly.
But by the time you actually collect all your data, go through the analyses, and then have all the rewrites to make everyone who's associated with the project happy with it, plus the editors at whatever journal it is you're trying to get it into, it can be a very extremely long process. And that's one of the things I like about social media is you can showcase that process so people can actually see it as it goes along. So you might not necessarily get all those questions like, why aren't you done with? Well, you see where I'm at in it, and so you can, like, showcase the kind of the nuts and bolts behind science that maybe not everyone gets to see.
Exactly. I started kind of in Twitter a little bit later in my grad program. I wish I started a little earlier because I wasn't actively doing as much of the research, but it would have been really great to kind of show that whole process. But grad school did help me kind of see the importance of Twitter and kind of the professional development aspect, which I was really excited. I happened to take like an outreach class that focused on Twitter, and so
that's great.
Yeah. So it was, we actually, as a part of the homework assignment, we had to create a Twitter handle, and the professor, he's actually one of my good friends and past colleagues, and he's blown away with how I took one little assignment and it just snowballed into, oh my gosh, organizations are following me. Like when American Ornithology, AOU, AOU at the time, started to follow me, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so
I still
popular.
get that. Like, I've got a fairly decent following now. I mean, it's definitely not, up to the levels of some folks out there, but it's still like I get all giddy when someone that like either follow on there or just happen to know like outside of it that I think is a really cool scientist, and they start following me. I'm like, I'm that cool that you're willing to like follow me. It does. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, and actually, I was talking to my friend last night because the president of OSU actually follows me on Twitter, which he happened to come to a conference, and it was just so it does feel a little bit like a popularity contest when.
I think it kind of like helps validate you a little bit.
Exactly.
It makes you feel like, okay, yes, I am part of this community, and they value me, and so it really just uplifts you and makes you want to be. Continue to be active, if not maybe more active in that society or that group of scientists that you're a part of. So.
Yep, and gives you a voice. And I, really try to use the hashtags because I have so many different interests that I'm trying to kind of connect all of them together. So, yeah.
Do you do like any sort of like social media outreach when it comes to like the kids and stuff that you work with, like in like the inner cities and stuff?
So it depends. There is one of our schools, Parkmore. So when I actually found out from your guys' talk yesterday about the Skype a Scientist, I happened to tweet them. They're super active on social media, which is fantastic. I find that there is a little bit of a problem, when you are working with kids, you can't. Unless they have a release to be put up, we can't really put up those pictures. Our college students, they of course can be put up, so we usually do back of heads and things like that.
Famous for this. If anyone follows me on my Wildlife BioGal account, they all know there's been many, many pictures of the back of my niece and nephew's head. I think the only face one I ever did, it was like when she had painted her face, because she's a big fan of Lisa Vipes on Twitter, and she does this bird glamour, #BirdGlamour, and so about every couple of weeks she does makeup based off of a different bird.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so my niece is a huge fan of it, so she's like, can we do it? And so we did it, and except for my niece didn't stop at the eye, she did the whole face of both myself, and then she's like, you gotta do me, so I did her, and so she's painted all up as a Baltimore Oriole. But yeah, the rest of the time it's always back of heads, because it's just with kids you don't necessarily want to throw them out there, especially when you're dealing with other people's kids. You don't want to be, imposing on what the parents want to be able to have.
Yep. So, sometimes for our own, educational stuff, it's okay, but social media is a whole nother issue. So usually I just kind of take it more of, this is the experiments we're doing and things like that. Right. It's really big. I kind of encourage my students to blog about their actual experience. They're potentially interested in grad school. So they, I felt blogging was kind of a good experience. It was a little overwhelming at first to explain my research on a blog, but if they're taking this outreach experience and actually blogging about it, I've had some students that have gotten so interested now they're going to continue blogging from it. So.
Well, I think too it also helps you become a better writer as well, and will help your writing. Even though it's not always pure scientific writing that you're doing in a blog, it still makes you overall better writer, and it's going to help influence your scientific writing, and it just benefits you, and then people get to have that insight into things as well. So it's not just you writing in a journal becoming, it's you also get that feedback and people get to benefit from it. So.
Exactly, yeah, that's where blogging's great, and then Twitter's great because I'm a long-winded talker, and having 140 characters really limits me.
Right.
So I like to use proper punctuation and spacing, and sometimes it bugs me a little bit that I can't put more in.
So you're the person who would write out in real life instead of doing IRL. So.
Exactly.
See, for me, like I use GIFs all the time because it's just I can't, like you said with the 140, like I need something to like better like explain it. So like I found like GIFs work to be able to help me get around that 140 to like put a little bit more emphasis in the tweet.
Sometimes emojis sometimes help, but yeah.
Yeah. So like I guess what's the thing that you've liked best so far about the conference here?
Oh,
It's
goodness.
been like either like the session or maybe the social event or
There's, a lot, because I went to AOU a long time ago when it was in Chicago. I want to say that was like 2013, 14. I think what's been really cool is not only like the social media. I mean, I think that's fantastic. I know you're running that. I wasn't giving you a direct plug there, but I think that has really encouraged people to kind of get involved. I love going to a conference when the Twitter feed is so active. You can almost attend other sessions at the same time. Because
if you have people live tweeting and keeping that thread.
Yes. And knowing when I can't actually go to the conference, it's really great to see that aspect.
Well, even if you're at the conference and you might have to go to another talk because maybe you have a colleague that's in a session and you want to go and support them, but maybe there's a topic that you really like could help you research. It's like which one do you go to? By having someone that's either live tweeting it, or say like if we have the streaming that you can go back and watch it later, it gives you that opportunity to still get the most out of the conference.
That's the fantastic thing about technology. And I mean, I think I know Liz is here for volunteering, but I think the volunteers have been doing a fantastic job too. As a volunteer myself, I've kind of seen the inner workings of a conference, and it's a little crazy, and I feel for Dr. Owen for all of this.
I can sympathize for
a lot
for
crazier
sure.
than I was expecting. But it's really nice to kind of see that being an attendee and now actually being volunteered and a part of something. So
and like I just saw Great Lakes Cisco joined us, and so I've got to say, hey there, Ellen. And so that's one of the Scicommers that I met at a conference, and it's just
awesome.
like it's great that you get this support that she's not here at this conference, but she does a lot of Great Lakes work, and so you can get that like influx of people supporting each other with things, and so it's nice. Like we had some of the ornithology folks actually come and present at IAGLR, and we actually had a Great Lakes person coming and presenting here during our symposium. So it's nice you can get that back and forth just because you're associated on Twitter with people.
No, I think that's great. I've met so many people before the conference. I know you guys talked about that yesterday during the Tweeting Bird Symposium, that you can not only meet people before, because I used to do the old school email, and and so it's a nice kind of fast getting in touch with them, and then also communicating throughout, being able to meet. I've met some great friends, and then kept in touch past the conference.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic, and I happened to be in the area, and then happened to meet up with them when our paths cross again. So
it's the benefits that you get out of networking with it. I think it really helps because like I know just like with someone like you just met, because we'd been interacting on social media a little bit beforehand, it puts you so much more at ease with that person versus if you're just like,
exactly. Like, I know. But I'm still the person that always goes to a conference. I recognize you. Oh, wait, it's on Twitter.
No, I've been seeing people walk around that, like, I recognize their faces, and I'm like, oh, where do I know them? And it, like, dawns on me, oh, it's someone on Twitter. And that's the other thing, too. Like, if you have a Twitter account out there, make sure it has your picture. So that way when you go to a conference, people can actually recognize you and are more likely to come up and talk to you. And then,
write it down.
Yes, put it on your badge. I get recognized more by my handle than I actually do my own name nowadays. So it's true.
I think I went to a conference. So Ohio State, they actually do what's called the Innovate Conference, and it focuses on education technology. And it is so the Twitter account is so bad that the internet usually freezes because so many people are on it. We trend in the area, and they have it when you first register. You actually put your handle on it, so they all know kind of who's going to be involved. So I think it's great to have it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, like I was just doing a search on here, and I saw AOS pop up, in the trending thing. I was just like, yes. I mean, it's still local, and specific, to me, but it still makes you feel good when you see it like pop up there, to know that people are taking advantage of that. And the nice thing, like you said before, is that you can take this afterwards, and so you can keep in touch with people, because most times, like, this conference happens once a year. After that, you might not talk to anybody for quite a long time, and so this way you can keep in touch. So when you actually meet them again the year after, if you go to the conference again, you've got that relationship, and you're much more likely, and it helps you not just with having friends around, but like if you want to do networking with a project or something, you're much more likely to do it because you can be able to keep up that relationship with that other scientist or that other outreach person, or whoever it is that you're working with in like the greater scope of science. That it really does help. And like there's folks here that I met for the first time at NAOC last year because we kept in touch through Twitter. When I saw them here, it was like running into each other's arms for a hug. And so like you just don't get that if you don't have that relationship that you can keep up. And how would you do that like with email? And
I know,
it's
exactly.
Just like it's so much harder. But Twitter and other things, it's so easy.
I know. With Jordan, I've been following her for years now, and so when I finally met her, I was like, I feel like I have to hug you because I feel like I've known you
exactly
throughout the years. So that's fantastic. It's a nice camaraderie there.
So I guess what else? Like since we're running out of time here because we actually have to let you get back to volunteering. I guess what couple of events are you really looking forward to like for the rest of the conference? Because it goes through Saturday, and there's some field trips afterwards, but the main part of the conference will end Saturday night.
Well, I actually am going to be heading out tomorrow.
Oh, fine.
I know, I'm sorry.
I just so set up that question right there.
I know you did, and I'm actually picking up. I have a baby bird that I'm picking up.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm going to be adopting a parrotlet baby.
Nice.
But anyway, but as far as
you get off because it's
exactly, I'm getting a bird.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I'm looking forward to the tweet up tonight to get to kind of meet up with more people. And just overall, I mean, I know I've only been here for really 2.5 days. I feel like I've done a lot of stuff, and at least through Twitter I can kind of see what else is going on for the rest of the conference. I would have loved to attend some of the field trips and things, but just sometimes there's not enough time in the day.
At all.
So,
no, I have not had, I mean, I've been going on 4 hours of sleep every night this week because I haven't had enough time to get everything in. I'll be up super late and then up super early.
I couldn't get to bed last night. It was just so exciting and, kind of in thrall of everything. But no, I'm excited to kind of, at least I've been able to help out. Because that was kind of my main goal. I wanted to help Dr. Owen out, especially when she mentioned when I graduated that she was going to be running this. So my goal to kind of return to
it's always
my
good when you
alum
come back
area.
to your roots kind of thing.
Exactly, yep. I miss MSU, that's for sure.
It's a beautiful campus. Like, I've been here multiple times, but this is the most, like, hardcore time I've spent on it, and just being able to like go jog through campus and stuff, like it's been really enjoyable. So.
It has been nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful campus.
And all the people who've been putting on the conference, they've done a really good job. It's a big, massive amount of work to be able to put on a conference, and so to have it like somehow all stay together and not completely fall apart is always amazes me. So
it's great how it works out. But I'm sure after everybody's like, okay, we're good now, we can communicate through Twitter and get ready for next year.
Yeah, I know. On Sunday, like I'm hanging out with a pal of mine that's here in town, and it's just gonna be like completely decompressed. Like I'm not gonna be allowed on my phone or anything like that. And so it's gonna be good.
That usually happens with all the conferences too. You need to kind of just a time to decompress and kind of absorb everything that you learned.
Yeah. I mean, as much fun as it is, and much as we love everyone, it's because it's so taxing. It's almost like you're just oversensed. The sensory load is so overwhelming, and so. But so we're gonna let Jessica go here. But as she said, there is the tweet up tonight, and so if you are on Twitter at all and you're here at the conference, please, come hang. Well, when
we're on Twitter,
when I'm co-hosting it, I kind of have to like throw it in there, and so it's gonna be at 7:00 tonight. It's the co-chairs from the Tweeting Bird symposium that we hosted earlier this week. That was actually just yesterday, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I know.
Like
That's
like
when
10
the
days
days
ago.
are so long.
But so it's going to be tonight at the poster session. So come hang out with us. We'll talk about science communication. How you can integrate that a little bit more into your science, and then we'll just talk about whatever else. I mean, we don't always have to talk about Scicomm, so that's the fun thing with tweetos. But it'll be great to get everyone in the Scicomm ornithology community here together, so we can all talk and hang out and actually meet each other in real life.
Yeah, that's something that I was so happy that was at this conference with the Scicomm, because when I went before, quite a few years ago, Twitter wasn't as big, but it's so great that there's ornithology is such a broad field that there's a lot of things, and science communication nicely falls in it. So it's great to see you guys representing.
And it's not just the young scientists out there. There's a bunch of older scientists too that are on Twitter and do Scicomm. So it's all age ranges. So no matter where you fall in that spectrum of science communication, come hang out at the Tweet Up. So the two of us will be there. So yeah,
7
for sure.
p.m.
Yeah, for come out, hang out. Pizza's at the Meet the Editor. So go get that too. So, but anyway, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If we didn't get to any of your questions, always feel free to tweet us at our respective handles. Afterwards, you can reach me at Wildlife IoGal or at the Scicomm Monday handle, and you can reach Jessica at
fowl_love.
Yep, so there you go. So we'll have a couple more broadcasts coming tonight at the poster session, which will be right after the Tweet Up. Well, actually, it's ongoing, but the broadcast will happen afterwards. And then there's going to be some talks also on Scicomm Monday tomorrow. I think so far we have at least 3 talks scheduled in the afternoon. And then we'll have an interview on Saturday with one of the editors of one of our big journals in ornithology. So stay tuned for that. So
I'll
have a
watch
good one.
then.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. So, all right, everyone, have a good one, and thank you to Jessica for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So,
All right,
all right,
bye.
bye.